Good afternoon, West Ham fans. Russ for the West Ham Network. It's match day again, and it's live. Our third game in 7/8 days, if you count. Depends how you count them all. West Ham take on Brighton at the Amex Stadium in a couple of hours' time. And as always, we try and predict the starting 11 for the game. And invariably, we're never too far away. Now, I think, obviously, coming off the Man United game, and by what we've heard in the press conference and stuff like that, it does seem that that I think business will be as usual, maybe with the one change of bringing back Lucas into the fold. I think he will start today. So let's get into it. Don't forget to check out our friends at ipVanish. Got the QR code just above my head if you want to download and get a nice, lovely VPN for 83% off. Bargain. Download the QR code and help out the channel there. Be our channel sponsor for the next couple of months. You see quite a lot of them, so that'd be great. Now, I don't think it's going to be too much of controversial decisions today, in all honesty. I think Areola stays in goal. That's not controversial. Obviously, we'll be without Ollie Scholes. We'll be without Igor, because he can't play. Crescencio Somerville, he said he hopes to have him back soon. I don't think he might be in the bench today, maybe, but I think I just don't see him starting. Obviously, we play Villa, and then we go into the Christmas break. And to be honest, we probably will need Crescencio, even if if Ollie's not back in time for, after obviously the Villa game, it's the AFCONs. And so, there could be a world where we have to, for the time being, maybe even play Somerville, if fit, as a left wing back, while, because obviously if Ollie's not back in time, recovering from his collarbone surgery, so we'll need him. So actually, I'd probably keep him in Cotton Wool for the next week or so. For me personally, I think we keep the same back five. I think, to be honest, a lot of this is going to be very similar. I think Todibo's growing as a centre half, and sort of somewhat understanding why we paid so much money for him. Wan-Bissaka would have been a match-winning or man of the match performance if Magassa hadn't scored. I think he was absolutely phenomenal against Man United, back to his best. He's had a couple of quiet games, but maybe the fact being back at Old Trafford just got him going again, and he was exceptional. He had Dalot in his pocket, and we need to be up against it, because obviously Brighton are a very, very, very dangerous side, as we know, particularly against West Ham, it seems. Go back and check out the stat attack we did this morning to see that. I think he goes 4-2-3-1. 4-2-3-1, is that right? 4-2... Kind of, maybe 4-3, yeah, 4-3-2-1 type thing. Yes, talk sense, button. I think you've got. I think Magassa's there. Obviously, I really enjoy this three. I think, considering where we were maybe 6 months, about 12 months ago, where we had like James Ward-Prowse, we had Souček. I know they're still there. Rodriguez. Now that three is so dynamic now, and there's just so much energy in there as well. And I think, that you've got options. You could, for some of the game, you could put Magassa and Potts as a double pivot and play Fernandes slightly more advanced. You could play the three of them. Fernandes likes to get stuck in. How many tackles were, so many ball recoveries by the likes of Potts, Magassa, Fernandes, getting stuck in and being a bit nasty as well. Putting a little boot in, leaving something on the player. And I really appreciated that, because it just shakes the opposition a little bit up and gets them a bit worried. I think we welcome back Paqueta and Bowen, and then Callum, although I'll be surprised if he can play if he's... I mean, I don't think he'll last, as long as he did against Man United, to be honest. But... And that's what I think we'll do. It might be more like that. It might be more like that, maybe. But I think that's, and I don't really like that, to be honest. I think what'll be interesting to be what will happen is when Somerville comes back in, what happens? Because I, you know, you would assume with that either Magassa or Fernandez would be dropped, and you probably would assume Magassa would probably drop, but he's now got a couple of games to prove he should be dropped. And then who do you drop then? You don't drop anyone. Does Somerville come back into the side? You know what I mean? It's like we need it though, because this left hand side. If you see the stats we did the other day, this left hand side usually about 40% of our attacking threat comes down there, and it's about 40 like 40-20 or 40. You know, it's pretty even between the left wing and the right wing, and obviously, you know, I mean, Man United, this partnership here, this was very much something like 43% of, and for Man United, I think the left hand side was about 25-30%. So it was really, really left heavy, and so it's quite easy for sides to defend against West Ham. All you've got to do is nullify this area, and the rest, and then you leave the likes of someone like Diouf very, very isolated, because obviously someone like Fernandez, he would drop in. And I think we did miss a bit of Lucas, in all honesty. Just that a little bit of creativity. You know, he does create a lot of big chances. I know he hasn't got an assist since March 2004. But big chances created. He's very consistent with that. And I think if you've got a clinical striker, someone like Callum Wilson, you know, he is you give him a chance and he will have a bloody good try. You know what I mean? And I think that's our starting lineup. I think I'm thinking about it more. I think if we were playing at home, I think, someone, can I take that thing off Callum, because he looks, yeah, there we go. I think if we're playing at home, they would probably drop one of the midfielders and put Somerville in there. But being at Brighton, I think we're going to try. It's clear we're going to try and keep it compact. It's quite obvious. I did like seeing Bowen. I did like the way Bowen was he was all over the place. So if you saw his heat map, we did a discussion on Saturday about Bowen's captaincy, and his heat map was basically all down here. It was literally all down here. Where last year he was all over the fucking place. Last year he was here, he was there, he was picking the ball. He was literally all over the place, being that counter-attacking sort of person, outlet. Not so much this year, but I think the Man United game, there was a lot more Bowen in his sort of natural habitat in terms of sort of searching for the ball. And I still think we need that in January. We do need that forward who's going to run the channels to open up that space for the likes of Bowen and Crescencio, Somerville, to cut inside and have a better shot on goal. But anyway, let me know what you think. As I said, we'll have to watch all that malarkey a little bit later on. Don't forget to check out IPVanish as well for your VPN needs. And I'll see you on the Flippity Flop. Much love. Peace out. Bye, my foes.